So, map number 2 coming right at you. Vega Squadron will be hungry to bounce back and get this all even. Godsent taking the first map, 16-8. A very odd map, though. It was back and forth, looked close at halftime, and then Godsent's T side just shone through. Vega Squadron will be starting on the CT side here of terrain. And as ever, I am joined by Dust. Let's see how this one gets started. Deagle for Lecro right off the bat.
Yeah, it's no messing around, is it? Deagle right away. As we do have some utility as well onto Pronax. And that is about it. As they're going to be going for a triple Ivy setup right off the back on a pistol round, which I know Godsent does favor the triple Ivy on gun rounds as well. So we might see this quite often, but probably a smoke for back halls and then some flashes to come through. But Kashander going to be able to push up into ladder room and catch Disco Doppler. Now Lecro's been cut off as well, so every other angle of attack except for Ivy's been taken away.
Godsent are dropping like flies, though. Schneider needs to put that Glock to good use. Kashander, in his eyes, will be taken out, but 2 health remains, not for too much longer.
Rip.
Chopper will administer the euthanasia. 1-0 Vega Squadron. That's pretty much what Doctor ordered. They needed to start this map well. That first pistol got in the way. But yeah, indeed it was.
Everyone did get a piece. So.
Which, of course, is great as well for nades. You know, everyone else can spread those nades a little bit more.
I think the big part of that is just the first 2 kills they got, right? When you press up on ladder and T-Con and you cut off the other 2 angles of attack onto the outer bomb site, and all now you have to worry about triple Ivy, and you're just playing out that 5-on-3. It's just it's so much easier to handle when you've cut off every other approach. And so now Godsent are left with the 4 spies, so 4 Deagles, excuse me, Tech 9 on the twist. Got a couple of head armors as well on the Twitch and Snyder, and again, Pronax will sacrifice armor to pick up some utility, and he will have it for inner, it looks like. So, could be seeing some type of inner explosion here coming soon. The bomb is at the top of the ladder. Disco Doppler will grab it here in a second. So yeah, looks like they are just going to try to put that smoke on Z, perhaps a couple of flashes into the site and try to rush in.
Yeah, here comes that charge. Chopper with the M4A4. Perfect weapon for this kind of range, this kind of a scenario. Disco Doppler with his Deagle. Oh, okay, there's the 1-tap. Can he get any more? No, he can't. Down he goes. Ruben, also, if you haven't already, bro, if you hit escape twice, because the ammo and health isn't showing, that would be awesome.
Yeah, there we go. I was wondering what that was last map. Metis, the king of fixing all things.
Alright.
He's run enough streams to know how to fix things like this.
I've had enough of GoTV issues in my time. Oh, rip twist. Shredded.
Jesus. That's brutal right there. Of course, this is like a full save round basically for Godsent, so not too much to be expected, but still always lovely just to get completely naded out. And Metis, if triple Ivy doesn't work, why not quadruple Ivy?
Yeah, why not? Throw an extra person. Oh, well, I guess the quadruple Ivy has worked to start things off. I'm not sure how many people Hutchie actually saw there, though.
I think he just saw that one.
Yeah, I think he saw one, so I'll be curious to see if Mia gets caught out here. Mia's going to throw down the molly. I think he's sussed out what the issue is, especially considering that JR has wrapped himself around the back of them. So now they know absolutely that everyone likely is situated in Ivy. And look at this formation that's stepping up. It's a firing squad. How Godsent get anything from this position is beyond me. It should be the 3-0, 99 out of 100 times.
And now JR will be able to pick up an ump and then press in the T-Con. So he's still going to be able to have the cutoff if they try to go backwards. So they're basically just funneled into Ivy. There's 3 CTs with eyes on it. So little hope in this world for Godsent. They do get a couple of kills, but yeah, not going to find too much success. So 3-0 for Vega Squadron. So far so good on the CT side, but now Godsent are going to be able to get rifles in hand, and this is where things are going to get a little bit more tricky for Vega to handle. As, of course, Godsent's only played train a handful of times with this new lineup, but they definitely look like they've had a good approach to it when I've watched them play. Definitely keep an eye out for Lecro in the inner halls. He can definitely be a big nuisance there, and they have some really good side executes on both sides of the map, really. Particularly their inner executes are quite sharp, so definitely going to be a little bit tough to handle for Vega, I think.
This is certainly where we expect to see that leadership start to shine through. Godsent early doors, 3-0 behind. Picked up 5 kills in those 3 rounds, so haven't really hurt Vega Squadron too much. But you can see a very heavy investment in Mia down to $50, JR down to 550, so there are avenues for Godsent to try and exploit here. Originally setting up for the B hit, and looks like there's going to be the green light punched in. They still have Schneider watching the back, but the rest of the team is about to force their way through. But here comes Jar with 2 lightning fast AWP shots, and there just simply wasn't enough flashes to deter him, making a third, single-handedly shutting this round down, and a fourth. He's on for the ace. Schneider comes out, and JR kills him too. Vega Squadron 4-0 in style.
As you noted, this isn't like there was enough utility in on that. Sure, there was a couple of pop flashes that came through the window, but there's really no smokes to cut off angles for JR's op. I mean, it felt like they hit before the smokes ever bloomed over towards Sidewalk and Z-Connector and such, so I don't know if the timing was just a little bit off on those smoke grenades or if they were a little bit off on when they decided to push into the site. Either way, it didn't seem like their hits synced up with their utility very well. And I think that JR just did a good job of avoiding those flashes. Like, a lot banked on those flashes being able to blind anyone in the site, and they just didn't really have any effect. So just kind of free reign for JR's op, so well played by him. I don't want to take anything away from him, but Godsent definitely, I feel like, kind of fumbled that one. But now it's just all Deagles, and Disco Doppelin has taken the headshot on the Kashander, so an early man advantage, I guess you could say.
Lack of nades, though. It's going to have to be a raw entry frags with these Deagles. JR now hot off the back.
I heard you like it all, Metis.
Well, I don't like it this raw, Dust. That, you know, moderation is everything, isn't it?
Yeah, medium rare, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Obviously talking about steak temperature.
Yeah, definitely steaks. And there comes JR. Easy kill for him. He may think he's just the one player out of main that could cost him his life if he's being tanked up left, right, and center, but does send Pronax packing. We will not see any back-to-back aces today from him for the meanwhile. And it's gone down to a 2-on-2, so things are getting interesting. He's starting to heat up as Lekro does connect onto Mia, and now Chopper in a 1-on-2. He typically is the 1D king for Vega Squadron, may very well die by that same sword. Disco Doppelin hits the headshot, and Godsent out of nowhere pick up a deco victory.
Like an RKO. Out of nowhere, man. Unreal. Definitely haven't seen the Deagles' increased impact in CS, it feels like, lately. I mean, it's always been very good in the right hands. Like, you know, you think of some very skilled players like a Nico, for example, or something simple that can put the Deagle to work. But now you've really been able to see teams just heavy up on Deagles and be able to make plays with them. I mean, in that round, like you noted earlier, before it even really started, they had nothing but Deagles. They didn't really have any utility. I mean, it was just all about aim, and they were able to make it work, so you gotta hope that that's not something that just kind of puts Vega on tilt, that they lose a round like that. Hopefully they can kind of keep their composure. They do have still a solid lead here so far in the first half. It looks like Godsent are once again thinking about this interbound to execute, but Chopper, with the aggression and Brown Halls, will cut them off.
It's a one-and-done position, and Chopper will scamper away. Not too sure if we'll see him do that again. I'm sure Godsent will keep a keen eye for that play in the future. Yeah, everything came towards somewhat of a screeching standstill. JR's looking into main with his AWP. Two players are situated there. Bomb dropped out, but it is in a salvageable position for Godsent. And this doesn't allow Mia to actually hide behind that smoke. There are plenty of nades being thrown on both teams. As JR's going to get the freest of kills. Boosted up on the connector side. Down goes Schneider. The bomb is now in main. For all of the attention that is being drawn out to the B side, it doesn't really matter that much because Twist still has to move all the way around. Ooh. And Kashander doesn't hear Twist. But Twist, unable to get the kills, he had his knife out, finally goes down. And Pronax now in a 1-on-3. What a scrappy round this has been. Far from perfect CS, but Vega Squadron will take it.
Yeah, it felt like Godsent was trying to do some kind of weird double fake there because you could see the bomb was down in bathrooms the entire time, but they would put some initial presence on inner first, and then they pushed a player out T-Con, yet they were still thinking about hitting inner with the bomb the entire time. So it seemed like, yeah, they were trying to do some type of, you know, double pressure, make Vega Squadron second guess their rotations, maybe even try to catch a pick on someone rotating or something like that, but this never really panned out. They never really caught the timing that they wanted, and so now they are once again just going to be on pistols. This time only one Deagle in play on the Lekro, everyone else just P250 or Glock. So shouldn't expect them to cause too much ruckus in a round like this one.
Yeah, the only round so far did come off the back of Deagles, but of course that was a full-on Deagle purchase. Now they just have one of them with a couple of P250s. Kashander on the E-box, biding his time, laid in wait. Disco Doppelin takes a bit of damage in Pop Dog. All 5 players of Godsent looking to burst out and see if they get some entry frags. Lekro the first out and first to fall. But needs to be careful here, Kashander, because he's got 2 separate locations. He's very isolated by himself. Disco will land a headshot. That's probably all Godsent get out of this round. Surely now Vega just churn out the kills, churn out the results. 6-1. Godsent will have another bye, but both Twist and Schneider and Disco fairly low. They are able to get the AWP on Twist, however.
Yeah, so this is actually one of the first times I think I've seen them have an AWP this half. So we'll see if they're able to put it to use. Again, I know that Godsent like to do triple Ivy, so maybe you'll see Twist take the AWP there and see if he can't find something. Obviously, playing T-Con slow, being able to try to work a pick outer is also an option. As we are going to see several players, again, heading towards these inner halls. But again, the aggression from Chopper with the FAMAS this time, Disco able to trade it out at the very least. So at least it's not going to have as big of an impact as it may have been able to, but still some good information for Vega early on. They still do have Kashaner as well, aggressive ladder. Good pop flash from Pronax, but Kashaner gets out of there, repeats, and is able to get 2 kills.
Wow.
That is devastating stuff.
That should never be a possibility for Shan to get 2 kills from that same position. But you saw the ladder really was the worst nightmare, and now it's a case of just picking off the stragglers, and JR will oblige. He moves to 12-2, and Schneider comes out into the open. He surely will die, but no, he actually lands the shot, nearly takes down Kashander too. Drops him to 20, that would have got interesting all of a sudden. But, I mean, Godsent just completely off the boil. Twist is 1-8. This is a guy, if Godsent want to win maps, he has to be towards the top of that scoreboard. He is a real star, a very good AWPer, but he's just not really got anything done so far in these first 8 rounds.
And Godsent's got to tighten up some of these executes. I mean, it just feels like the timings aren't quite there. Like, yeah, they double pressure ladder, but why is no one coming out of T-connector and killing that guy that's focused on ladder all the way, right? Like, you got to be able to sync up some of these peaks a little bit better. And even some of their, like that double fake they tried to throw in her a couple of rounds ago just seemed a little bit off. So I think they just got to tighten up some of these timings, because right now Vega Squadron is getting a lot of situations like this where they just get free duels where they have the advantage.
Kashander runs out of bullets. That will cost him his life. Schneider somehow still alive. What the actual hell? How, Schneider? How did you not die? And what will it would appear? But still, Vega Squadron will take it. And interestingly enough here, Dust, this is a complete reverse of what we saw in Overpass. Godsent took an 8-1 lead, and then Vega Squadron came back to take it 8-7. Let's see if history repeats itself, but on the other side of the coin.
Yeah, this is going to be the next big chance for Godsent to put around on the board. They have full AKs across the board, full utility as well. So they basically have everything that they could want to work with the exception of an AWP. But obviously 5 rifle setups can be very effective, and Twist as a player certainly great on the AKs as well. Again, aggression from Vega Squadron inner halls, that's really been a thorn in Godsent's side, you gotta feel like. They've really been losing a lot of opening picks into these inner halls. But this time they are able to kind of force JR back and not allow him anything. So this is finally some clean takes from Godsent, but look at this. That's brutal.
Indeed it is. Lacroix down and out. Hutchie is pushing up through alley, so much information is gathered. This is allowing Vega to put 3 players on B and be very confident in the fact they're not going to get found out. But the fact Hutchie's died, it's going to give Godsent a bit of an opportunity back into this one. I believe he saw both players, so at least information for his scouting efforts. But a 4-on-4 with Pronax on 6. Godsent still, they've got to start getting some rounds in this half. Otherwise, it's going to get into horrible territory. And JR and Kashander both line up frags as the T's do approach. And a second kill. The bomb is also dropped out in the open. Godsent are getting plastered. There is no way in for them on these sides. JR is having a godlike game. But also, Kashander's on 15 kills. They've got 29 kills between the two of them.
Yeah, this definitely needs to be a tactical timeout from Godsent. They need to think about this a little bit. And, I mean, honestly, what you're kind of seeing is a combination of Vega Squadron being very good at playing forward positions, particularly on the outer bomb site. I mean, they're playing up close on T-Connector, they're playing up close on ladder room, they're winning those fights. So they're basically not giving Godsent any space. Like, normally, when you're attacking the outer bomb site, you want to be able to get into ladder room, right? And maybe be able to play your way to E-Box. You want to be able to get out T-Connector, play your way into Olaf Meister, get control of that first train, be able to maybe press up into hell or something like that. Give yourself basically a launching pad into the site, but the way Vega are playing this, they're not giving them that space to work with. Not only that, but you've been seeing Vega Squadron with aggression on the periphery of the map, right? They've been pushing through Ivy at times, getting information, getting flanks off. They've been pushing Brown Halls and Inner, been getting picks there as well. So it almost feels like Godsent's getting suffocated, right? Like they're not getting any space in their executes, and at times they're even getting pushed on the edges of the map. So I think that that's just kind of sabotaging almost anything that they're trying to work out that takes some time to unfold. when you have Vega knocking at the door so quickly, it's hard to make those adjustments. Not only that, but the other side of the coin in that combination is that I feel like a lot of Godsent executes have been a bit sloppy at times. Like their push isn't timed right with their utility or something like that. And obviously Vega's going to be good enough to punish situations like that. So definitely need to go back to the drawing board here and try to tighten things up.
Yeah, and as you're talking about that, I can't help but go back to JR's ace, where he gets all those shots for free. No flashes come through on the execute. It was a full buy by Godsent. But let's see what they have in store after that timeout. Mollies have been thrown down. Schneider going to charge straight through that Tech 9 with 2 kills. Looking for a third one, but JR again up on the connector boost. Will put him down alongside Mia. There's a one-tap. Can the Deagle once again be the nightmare? Of course, the one round that Godsent got was off full Deagles. And Lecro has landed a shot into JR. However, it is still a 1-on-2 in favor of Vega Squadron. The bomb has been picked up by Lecro. That is going to keep Vega on their tiptoes. And every second that he wastes here is another second they may think about rotating one of those players onto the B side. And that could effectively put this into 2 1v1s. That's where the deal can get real interesting. Chopper is going to peek him. Does take a shot as well. It's not going to be the insta headshot. Down he goes, but the Molotov just on the outskirts will cook Lecro 10-1.
Roasted.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, big lead for Vega Squadron, that is for sure. As it's starting to get pretty grim here for Godsent. I mean, their saving grace is the fact that they did take map 1, right? So they do have that cushion there, kind of that safety net that they do at least have a third map to look forward to if they're not able to come back into this one. And we could see them, you know, even have their own dominant CT side, so they're certainly not out of it. You know, this map can at times be pretty heavily leaning towards the CT side, excuse me. As once again you see JR trying to get forward presence with this op. This time though getting tagged down a lot. But look at this, Chopper uses it as the bait. Come in.
Still twist 1 and 11. Has to change if Godsent want any hope in this round and indeed this map. As you mentioned though, currently lead 1-0. Mirage will be the last map if we need it. If Vega Squadron continue to flawlessly maneuver their way through train. Pronax going to have a Molotov to contend with. That may force his smoke out. Indeed it will, to extinguish the danger. JR is still there. Not too far off with that smoke bank. So Godsent is still struggling to really gasp for any air at this stage. Vega Squadron doing a good job of continually applying that chokehold. JR now sees the Molotov around the corner. Knows there's at least one player on Ivy, which he's done for quite a while now. But the bomb's still dropped at T-spawn.
Yeah, this is a problem because look at Mir's position.
Oh,
ouch.
No. Godsent, what is happening here? There's such sloppy CS. Getting through onto the site and not having control of the bomb. I mean, this is
literally the first round they've been able to get out of T-Connector and actually get space out of Ivy and T-Con, and then they leave the bomb behind.
What
Unreal.
is that, JR? That's the Dan M moment. I don't know if we were specking him, but twice he looked at him through
Is he on the gear?
Crisp, clean look, boys. Either way, 11-1 the score. Godsent, well, it's just not been their map, really, has it?
Yeah, there is something criminal just about the idea that finally they get out of T-Con, they get out of Ivy, they finally get some breathing room, and oh, what's that? The bomb. It's by T-Spawn. We gotta go back and grab it. Oh, what's this? Mir happens to push through inner halls and flanks. Great. Brilliant. Just all the odds stacking against Godsent at this point. And JR's been brutal with that op, man. He has been laying down the law this entire map.
He's just been consistently smashing Godsent. There's a second one. Lecro will not allow him to have a third. 2-on-2. One of the best opportunities Godsent have had in quite some time now to clutch. And Desco Doppler is dead. And with him drops the bomb. Lecro once again with the weight of the world on his shoulders. Needs to find 2 kills. I think the trajectory of that nade and the fact that he heard gunfire is going to give away Hutchie's position. Smoke out. Allows him to not worry too much about his right-hand side. And now it's all down to timing, perhaps. Chopper. I don't think either player necessarily saw each other. They were looking at the same angle, but the timing was just slightly off. And now Chopper has the angle, and he's looking down on the Ivy side, waiting for Lecro to come out into the open and taps Vega Squadron into a 12th round. And once again, Godsent gets so close, yet so far.
Yeah, again, JR's been big with the 19 frags in the 13 rounds that have been played. He's definitely been a force to be reckoned with. Kashander, not so far off, 17 frags. And it's not as if anyone on Vega Squadron is doing poorly, by the way. I mean, yeah, they have a pretty top-heavy players, but everyone else has also been playing their role. And now look at this again, just a suffocation of Vega Squadron, putting these incendiaries down on T-Con, denying room for Godsent, and now just lighting them up.
Pro Schneider, Disco, can they give a second round to Godsent? Not if JR has anything to say about it. One kill goes his way, looking for a second one. Out into the open, he'll move once again. He's using that green train as a barricade. A Disco Doppelin will smash it down. The demolition job is a success. Chopper up on to heaven. And Godsent, well, they have doubled their digits. They moved to 2 rounds. Maybe a third in the pistol round will give them something to work with. But it's still going to be a rough half regardless of what happens.
Yeah, they were able to trade their way out this time and get into the outer bomb site and get a 2v1 there late in the game. But you got to wonder if at this point it's just a little too late. Yeah, it's great. I mean, they kind of won that round in the chaos of it all. Finally, things kind of went their way. But, I mean, now the best they can hope for is the 3rd round. And again, you're going to see Vega Squadron try to clamp down, play aggressive, use utility, get forward position with Kashander on ladder once more. That's Snyder blindsided. Lecker tries to come through the smoke. He does get 1 kill at least.
It's looking like this half may very well end the same way, so we're going for the bulk of this. With Hutchie landing a dig onto Twist, who was completely unaware of the situation at hand. It started a very poor buy. It's going to end phenomenally well for Vega Squadron. 13-2 half. It sure can be CT-sided and pretty effectively so, but a 13-2 half it is not. Godsent. This has just been a rough map of Counter-Strike to watch, honestly, Dust. I'm not sure what else to say about it.
Yeah, again, it's been a combination of good forward positioning and at times pushes on the edges of the map by Vega and sloppy play from Godsent. You know, like it's just a recipe for disaster if you're the Swedes. When you're not on your game as far as your timings and as far as being on the same page, and then on top of that you have an opponent who's pushing you on all ends of the map or is denying you room to work with. I think this kind of masses up into being a bad time for Godsent, basically. And at this point, if they can't get the pistol round, it's pretty much a done deal. Again, luckily they did win the first map on Overpass in pretty dominant fashion, so they have locked up a 3rd map regardless.
That's going to have to be a stellar CT half if Godsent want to get back into this. It started with a couple of kills, and Chris should get the flank shots off, and indeed he will. So, better start here. And sadly, a statistic that I definitely won't make for good reading or listening if you Twist. With those 2 pistol kills, he actually got more kills already in that pistol than he did in the entire first half. He's now on 3.
And he's definitely not been in this game, and that's definitely big because I feel like he's one of the more skilled players on Godsent's lineup. I mean, I think that when you look at this team, guys like Lekro and Twist really leap off the page as being the ones you expect to put up the numbers. And so if Twist is having an off game, meanwhile you have a Vega Squadron that seems to be firing on all cylinders, particularly their opper, JR, the guy you're going to be dueling against once you get your AWP, is putting up a substantial game. That's going to make things a lot difficult. But certainly winning the pistol round is a great start in the right direction. Now they just have to make sure they can survive this force buy with these Tech 9s. Gotta stay in this game. Oh,
So,
JR definitely saw a little bit of something there. Didn't want to mess with that. Oh, man.
Fortunately for Schneider, shooting through the wall, he's going to limit the damage that he takes, and he will put the Mag 7 into the face of JR and pull the trigger. So down he goes. Obliterated. Mia could get the drop on Twist, and indeed he will with a Tech 9. Vega Squadron still in this round. They have taken a lot of damage from Kashander. Hutchie, Mia's taken a little bit as well from that nade. Now Disco should get the drop onto 2 players. You'd have to feel Kashander's the next one to fall. He's heard the Tech 9 rounds being shot off just to his right-hand side. And Kashander, who's on minimal health with his Tech 9, does have the bomb in his grasp. So if he dies, that pretty much is the round with him, you'd have to feel. 2 players low for Godsent, though, in the meanwhile. Let's not count those chickens before they've hatched just yet.
Kashander just locked in here, man. This is a rough play.
Yeah,
if Lekro actually does peek, maybe he can get something. Yeah, but Disco, like you noted. picks him up. That's going to be the end of that. So, a couple of kills, but they didn't really pose too much of a threat in that round. So, Godsent just taking care of business.
Still did take a couple kills away, did Vega Squadron. That's going to be a couple of replenished weapons. Keeps their economy a little bit more honest. No reason for Vega to force, of course. That's one way that Godsent can get back in this if Vega have poor economic handling of their situation. So just for PT50, and that's pretty much it in the hands of Mia and Hutchie. Only one player actually on B, though, so if Disco drops, this could get really poor for Godsent. Fortunately, he's in a pretty solid position with his M4, and he's just waiting. He's actually biding his time, allowing those players to cross before he does anything. Molotov onto the side, and that is the red light in the eyes of Godsent. They are not going to be letting Vega Squadron get onto this side just yet. Mia is going to pick up a frag. That's going to be the M4 trading hands, but the bomb isn't under his control. There's 4 CTs to contend with, and down he goes. Prax did get tagged pretty low, though.
And then Incendiary was kind of the checkmate, wasn't it? I mean, this pretty much denies any ability to plant the way that you wanted to. Force people just to kind of fan out. You're already on no armor and then like lesser pistols. This allows them to be pretty easy cleanup. So Godsent do manage to get the 3-0 start in the half. That makes it 5-13. So at least they're still in this game. But they still have a pretty long road to travel to really get back into this one. I mean, Vega Squad is still sitting on a massive lead. They can get some gun rounds going here early on. Then they will likely find themselves in a third map. But at the same time, we know how this map can tilt towards CT, so I mean, there's nothing stopping Godsent from having their own dominant CT side. I'm not really sure how good Vega's T side is. Again, they've only played this map really a handful of times since maybe like October of last year. So over the course of 5 months, they've only played this map in total online and offline combined like 6 or 7 times, right? So there's not a whole lot to read about that sample size to know where they really sit.
Yeah, it definitely is hard to establish how Vega Squadron will factor through on their T side. What we do know, though, is that, of course, just 3 rounds away from victory on this map. So even if their T side isn't great, it just takes them to be in the right place at the right time a couple times, and Godsent are out of this one. Here's the first full test for Godsent's CT side. This is where you expect to see Twist start to shift through the gears somewhat. Blackbro will land the headshot, but Hutchie comes through with the entry frag. They are going to get the B side planted on. Now it's all about the retake game of the Swedes. How much damage can they inflict on the retreat? Lecro switches to his nade and nearly gets himself caught out by Hutchie. Pronax close range of the FAMAS is going to go to town. Did do a bit of damage as well with the H shield thrown out. And the health for Vega, not too good. Schneider also, however, is low. There is still a smoke in the hands of the CTs. They want to hold on to that and the potential Molotov play from Boxhalls. Hutchie from the back is going to land onto Pronax. And it would seem that Godsent are going to start to come tumbling down. Twist in a 1-on-2 doesn't have a kit and doesn't have a chance. It is going to be the round going to Vega Squadron. 14-5. 2 rounds shy of taking the second map.
Yeah, that was kind of up in the air up until Hutchie made that maneuver. When he pushed through Oiler like that and got over into the backside of Inner and was able to get those 2 kills, that was what made the world of difference. That's what secured the round for Vega Squadron. So big play there from Hutchie. He hasn't even had the best of games, but those 2 kills actually put him at a neutral KD ratio and have a substantial impact on the game for Vega to work towards closing this one out. As I mean, you look at the situation now, Godsent's bought down everything for this moment. If Vega could actually win this round, Godsent have nothing, you know, when Vega goes for the W, basically. So this is a big round, really, for both teams. For Vega to lock this one up early, for Godsent to try to get that comeback going.
Yeah, almost playing for pride at this point in Godsent. After that very poor first half, dismal, you could even say 13-2. Mia, unfortunately, looks away, but Twist does give him a second chance, walking out with the nade and Mia with a second entry. And that really has been the main difference when it comes to Train. The strategic play not really there for Vega, but their entries and holding down the side has been on fire. Disco Doppler, 1-on-3. Going to be coming through Connector. No real reason to save, I guess, at this kind of a stage, unless they desperately want that M4 into the next round. But, well, that lag's going to tell you all you need to know. Vega Squadron will be taking this second map as expected.
Yeah, it looks like Mir's finally woken up. He's kind of been the big name on this team, right? He was the guy that was really impressing everyone at that major qualifier. And he'd been kind of quiet throughout this series, really. I mean, there's guys like JR who was really kind of taking the forefront. Kashander's also had a big map here, but now, you know, Mir steps up with a really big play there, just sweeps through Ivy with basically 2 entries and then a 3rd frag inside the site. So, really big play there from him. Like you noted, really I haven't seen much strategic game because it seemed like Godsent, while they were set up well strategically, their execution was a bit sloppy. And then for Vega, it's been, yeah, just individual efforts.
Now the attention will be moving across to Mirage. Again, too short to expect there from how Godsent have seemed to be godlike to, well, bot-like, I guess you could say, on this strain. It's been a difficult map to watch at times. JR, though, I think, can't really take anything away from him. His CT performance was unbelievably good. I think he ended the half on 21-6. That is one hell of a half of Counter-Strike to be playing. And now Vega putting the final nails in the coffin of the Swedes. Will be 16-5.
It does pretty much spell out that way. I mean, just Schneider and Pronax left. Neither one of them have a kit. Not sure if there's one available for them to pick up. And Schneider's down very low on HP. And of course the main disadvantage to seal it all up. Pronax does even up the odds, but that incendiary is going to make things difficult.
That's why it sucks that you have that lag in GoTV. We already know what's going to happen. And JR does put this to rest. So at least the suffering was over quickly for Godsent. But indeed, that does tie up the series 1-1 as we will head to Mirage. Again, we are playing 3 best-of-3s today. And the overall winner will be heading to DreamHack Austin. There will be only 1 qualifier spot. So these remaining teams vying for that 1 position. We'll find out which of Godsent or Vega will progress through to the next stage after this short commercial break. We'll be right back.